Okay. All right. All right. Hey, welcome everybody to Menopause Mondays. My apologies. I have little or no voice, but I'm going to wing it. Um, so Natalie, you're going to do my talking for me today. Today we have two amazing, beautiful people. I'm just loving your beautiful background. I'm loving all your colors. It's just gorgeous. So today we have Kevin and V, and Kevin and V are from Patoo, Jamaica, and they're going to share with us another option, a different option for menopause treatment. We've talked about so much, and this is another amazing way for us ladies to conquer this. So just going to do a quick introduction of the two of you, and then maybe if you guys want to go into it a little bit more, no problem. Kevin, when I was reading your bio, both of yours, I thought it was just amazing. Your dedication to holistic wellness, and it extends to the co-creation of One Retreats Jamaica, which is a psilocybin excuse me, wellness retreat located in West End Negril. And you're also a certified psilocybin assisted practitioner. V, your personal experience with menopause is what really grabbed me. Your mood swings, your hot flashes, all of this stuff that us ladies are plagued with really led you to this experience of microdosing and your healing journey, your plant-based, but I did not realize the two of you were fiancé going to get married until I read. So congratulations. So let's get started. Let's get started on today's session. So Kevin, tell us a little bit about your involvement in the psychedelic mushroom space, especially here in Jamaica.
Sure. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Nikki, and thank you, Life Store, and it's just been such a blessing to be, you guys believing in us, and a good sister in with Mrs. Lazarus, and it's just been beautiful. So my involvement in psilocybin is it's blessed to be deep into the space, and what that means is, we cultivate, so the source of the medicine is, we have a cultivation center just outside of Ochiris. My business partner, Charles Lazarus, it's his old family home. It's been converted into this state-of-the-art mushroom grow where we're proud to say that we're off the grid geothermal and all of these beautiful things, which actually we believe has a big weight in the quality of the mushroom and the personalities, which I'll get into. So, we cultivate and we support research. So we're cultivating, we have over 100 different genetics in our genetic bank. And, the research is going on, and we're supporting different research, some for, autism in adolescents, which is with, University of Guelph in Canada. We have other ones in the works, which are, big universities, very notable, that is, could be for Alzheimer's. There's also, motor skill research going on that's, in the malleable state that you could learned state, you could relearn motor skills or language skills. So stroke victims is also something that is on our radar. So we have that going on, which is really exciting. I'm blessed to be on calls with people much smarter than I every day, and PhDs and scientists that are on this progression of psilocybin. We have Patoo, which one of the main reasons we're on this, which is our our consumer item brand, which is on the shelves in Jamaica in a legal framework. We take safety and efficacy really important with this. So we sit on the technical committee, which is kind of shaping the progression of the space in Jamaica, and that's represented by the Ministry of Health and the Bureau of Standards and the community, that's other growers, other doctors, other retreat owners, the whole community. So we can, move forward. Jamaica has an opportunity to lead in this space. And, if we lead with courage, safety being at the forefront, and keeping an open mind of the, accessibility. So, with that said, and then we have One Retreats, as you mentioned, which kind of rounds it out, where we have a beautiful space in Negril that we use, Deep West End, beautiful property that is just a perfect backdrop, setting and set for these, type of retreats is so important. And Jamaica has that. It's always been a healing beacon, so it has that. But we receive guests here that we're both trained. Our whole staff is trained in psilocybin assisted therapy, psychedelic assisted therapy. So yeah, we greet people. So we have a Navy SEALs container, which is really exciting and dear to our hearts, of veterans coming to us with looking for some answers, some clarity, some direction. So we're blessed to have that. That's been going fantastic as we dig our roots deeper into that space to help them coming, and supporting with the research too out of that, because obviously research is what's going to help propel this in certain avenues. And then we have open ones, which are our specialty retreats that are around full moons, and we keep the indigenous practices of the Taino close to our programming, and we have the chief come that invokes the land and opens the ceremony and pays homage to Jamaica and the land, and then that theme continues throughout with the retreats, with programming as well. That's obviously kind of mixing the science and the beautiful spirituality part of it all into this offering of 6 days with integration and so on after, which is so key to this for that retreat setting. So yeah, that's us in a nutshell.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm out of breath, but it was we're blessed. It's something that it's beautiful when purpose and things align, and so we're just kind of on
passion.
Yeah, for
sure.
Yeah. So
for sure.
Feels good. It feels right, and we're just committed.
We get it. Nikki and I are both. We're fully immersed in our passions. With purpose. We're purpose driven in our practices. Nikki as a life coach, me as a health coach. So let's back it up a little bit, Kevin, and let's talk a little bit about what actually are psilocybin mushrooms. What are psychedelic mushrooms? Because people have there's a lot of unknown, and there's a lot of misconceptions, and I don't want to get high, party and get high. No. Tell us a little bit about what these mushrooms actually are.
Psilocybin, so mushrooms are a kingdom, right? It's its own kingdom. So the plants have their own kingdom, and fungi have their own kingdom. So it's a kingdom, and there's thousands upon thousands of hundreds of thousands of species of fungi, and there's a file or a section under that that's called psilocybin mushrooms, which are mushrooms that contain psilocybin. So psilocybin, there's a variety. When I say we have 100 different genetics, that's 100 different types or strains or genetics of psilocybin as mushrooms that contain psilocybin. All of these mushrooms have a different personality, different contents, different potencies, different attributes, from psilocybin to the psilocin to the baeocystin, the neocystin. They're all now, just like in cannabis, where they're going down into the cannabinoids, where you discrete CBD and all of those are delta 8, all of these other things. Mushrooms are just getting to that. So it's a state of discovery now with all this science. What's doing what, and why is this one? And so we're blessed to be. It's super exciting to be in a place where we can get anecdotal data back of what's happening, and really put the offerings that we put on the shelf, make sure they're honed in for the best result.
And what does a psilocybin mushroom do when I take it? Like, what's the mechanism of action, I guess?
Yeah. When you ingest, so vehicles, which we'll talk about further down, psilocybin in the mushroom is going into your tummy, and then it's converting into psilocin, and that's what is affecting you. People in the past things, in the words getting high and all of this sort of stuff it's the psilocin in your thing. But the getting high and stuff is a narrative from past times when it was the genie kind of got out of the bottle in the 60s and the 70s, and that counterculture, and there wasn't a lot of education of it, and that's when it kind of got shut down by all the research. Literally shut down overnight. It was the war on drugs, Richard Nixon in the United States, it was a counterculture that had a perspective that shifted of, wow, wait, I don't want to go to war. Whose war is this and that? And literally, I don't have to get into the rest, but politics kind of took over in that sense, and it was shut down. So imagine research, brilliant scientists, work, all of that just literally erased overnight. And so now we're trying to untangle that narrative that this medicine has attributes to help people with mental health and also physical, as I mentioned, with the motor skills. So it's a new understanding. The genie is proverbially out of the bottle, and it's helping people. And there's advocates, and there's moms, and there's veterans, and there's voices, and there's science, and it's beautiful to be a part of.
Okay, so one of the when we talk about menopause and perimenopause being that state where the hormones start to be in flux leading up to menopause, which is defined as 12 months of no cycle for a woman, no bleeding for 12 months, right? Then you're in menopause. So once we start to have our hormonal fluctuating, shifting, those sorts of things, some of the symptoms, because there is a myriad of symptoms that come along with menopause. We always think about hot flashes, but it's so much more than just hot flashes, right? There's anxiety, there's depression, there's irritability, there's so much that can go on from a mood perspective. How is it that mushrooms can help the woman going through these places where she's not feeling like herself anymore? How is it that mushrooms are able to help? What are they doing in our body that they're able to help?
I'm going to just say some brief stuff, and then I'm going to pass it on to V. But, okay. Because this is me coming, I just want to say to all the viewers and to you guys is, me, sitting here in a man's capacity, I don't know it all. I don't know what you guys are feeling and going through. So I can only listen, be understanding, be open, as a man, and use the knowledge that I have with psilocybin and so on, and connect those dots. So that's, that's the science, and that's what, my role in all of this is. But, it's again, it's the connecting of the dots, and I'm going to pass the baton to V. But mushrooms, it's mood enhancers. It's speaking to the S1 and the S2 receptors, which are the serotonin receptors. And if you view that in a non-scientific way, that's where serotonin is, and serotonin is the happy juice. That's what we create naturally. It's different things affect that. This is in wellness and health, you must hear of serotonin receptors a lot. Is that psilocybin is to a natural way that goes in and proverbially is parked in those S1 and S2. There are receptors that are receiving stuff, and it mimics serotonin. So it's a beautiful dance that's going on there in the neurotransmission and making the brain malleable, and the neuroplasticity of the brain, which makes it, you're in that learned state, you're open, so you're silencing the chatter in your head, so to speak, and that's attributed to anxiety and mood fluctuation and all of these things. So definitely from mood level, anxiety is a direct thing to connect the dots over to V of what's going on in perimenopause and menopause. Psilocybin is working magic over there.
All right, so I do want to get to V soon, but when we're talking about mushrooms, how do we take mushrooms, right? And we're not just talking about going in your garden and picking the ones that are growing. Like when it rains in my garden, they're around the palm trees.
Duppy umbrella. Jamaica's a duppy umbrella. That's what Jamaica.
So we're clearly not going in the garden and picking that, right? So there's special mushrooms that have the quality that are enhancing neuroplasticity, that are helping with anxiety and depression. Perhaps these are some of the things that the menopausal and the perimenopausal woman would normally perhaps turn to the wine at night to kind of help with, or a doctor is going to be prescribing antidepressants to help with the anxiety and the depression. How would I, if I wanted, at the end of all of this, if I wanted to try mushrooms to see if they're going to help my emotional symptoms of menopause, what would I do? How would I go about doing that? So
Sure.
what are the different dosings, and how do I know what to take? And
yeah, I mean, definitely all of, that information when, this is a microdosing, application for perimenopause or menopause. So, the most popular ways and what we have with Patoo is we have capsules. So a microdose is defined as 0.1 of a gram to 0.3 of a gram of dried biomass mushrooms. So that's the actual organic matter is what biomass means. And that's, the most popular ways in a capsule. We're so used to as the supplements and capsules. So capsules with 0.2 we choose, in our capsules we do 0.2. So on that spectrum of what's the definition of a microdose, we put 0.2 of our medicine in. Now that's our proprietary strain, Patoo strain and stuff. And again, that goes into it because different mushrooms have different personalities and different things happening in them with the content that affect. So we've done a lot of, again, anecdotal research. We did trials on different people, friends and family. When I say trials of just which one, they all help, but which one is really, getting the best results and so on. So, we take a lot of thought and care into that. So microdoses, capsules, we have a honey, which is very popular in as a microdose vehicle, where our medicine is infused for 140 days into honey. Then it's filtered at 200 microns, which is very, it's preserved the nice look and fluidity of the honey. And then the medicine's in there, so you can take it in your tea or a teaspoon. And all of that dosing is all in all of our packaging. We're more than willing to help people. We help a lot of people directly through our socials and people just reaching out directly to us. But it's all kind of, the dosing is very set out for you. And then the protocols, 4 days on, 3 days off. That's the Fatamin protocol. That's the one that we use. These are all scientists and stuff that have developed protocols. Paul Stamets has a protocol. James Fatamin has one. These are all people that have been in this space for, 30, 40 years, plus with all the generational stuff of the ancient medicine. So those are the main ones. We also have chocolate. People just love chocolate, so they like to take a little piece of chocolate off, and the gummies, as we spoke about before we went on air, another great vehicle to get, everybody's different, treats the body different. You might need a little bit more. V's going to talk about that. You might need, premenopause might need a little bit higher of a dosage for some people. People have different digestion. Something you have to feel out.
Are these microdoses going to make me feel high, or is it like like a impactful, I felt a difference, or is it subtle?
Great question.
Under the radar.
Great question. It's not, it's something that's working in the background. What I would say is that, again, people are affected differently. So when you're starting it, you're taking it in the morning, your belly might not be full, which is great actually for psilocybin. You don't want the digestion to be competing with too much to down the psilocybin is going to those receptors we spoke of. So to that, it's generally if you're following the protocol and doing that, you're not something that you're going to feel high or inebriated or something like that. You're driving to work, you're sitting down in that boardroom if you're in the professional world, you're being a mom if you're a mom. There's a massive amount of culture of moms for microdosing that's happening globally. I mean, it's a big thing, moms have the toughest role on the earth. So it's like for those, mood and hormonal and just anxiety, it's just a brilliant thing that people are logging on. So no, the answer is no. It won't make you feel any overwhelming feeling or jolt or what have you. It's very much to change a lens. You might see a little things brighter. You might be more clear. You might get energy. I get energy if I'm going to the gym or working out or what have you.
I think it also helps with that brain fog that might come with menopause.
Oh, geez. I'm trying not to steal this beautiful lady's thunder beside me.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right, so just sticking generally to mushrooms and how they work and stuff. You know, Jamaica is one of the few countries in the world where these mushrooms are actually legal, right? So they're still considered a drug, right? And they're still regulated in many countries, right? So if I wanted to use mushrooms in this space, what are the, like, am I going to get in trouble with my office if my workplace does drug testing? Am I going to be, can I put them in my suitcase when I'm going on a trip? Like, how, what's the legality?
Good questions. Yeah, so it is a legal framework in Jamaica. There's a couple, Australia medically, Brazil is unraveling medically on the state level, which is cannabis in the United States, probably on a more federal in Canada, it's looking like, but it's legal in Oregon. Looks like Vermont is opening up. So it's going state by state. It's happening quite rapidly. We have our licenses in Oregon, and kind of going to follow that footprint as it legalizes, just to kind of have our Jamaicans, we want to be loud and proud over in there, on this, in this new breakthrough kind of mental health solutions. But yeah, to put it in your suitcase and travel, wouldn't recommend that. For as in here in Jamaica for testing and stuff, it's a supplement that you're taking. It's a natural. It's not something that's tested for in that regard. And this all comes back to wellness. This is, cannabis had this changing the narrative and stuff that took 10, 15 years in certain pockets, in law, in social acceptance, in nutraceutical life. So there's a lot of that. And so mushrooms, again, is going to have these challenges and these questions. This is why we're doing this. This is to talk about it, dialogue, understanding, education is like, we're committed to that. So like when we're training all our retailers on, you're very well versed in it yourself. I've heard you, I know you're asking the questions. You're asking questions right now that you certainly definitely have the answers to, Natalie, and I appreciate that. But that's for the wider crowd. But it's like, really responsible health practitioners and retailers that believe in natural medicine and healing. So we work with them.
Cool, thank you. All right, let us turn to V, beautiful energy goddess V.
Low energy sometimes these days.
Oh, girl, it's challenging. We know. So tell us a little bit about your experience with the medicine, with the mushrooms, and your symptoms. Like, tell us your story as it relates to menopause and mushrooms.
Absolutely. And big up to Menopause Mondays. I love that you girls are doing this. It's wonderful to create a space and a platform for women to feel supported and heard and educated on this serious condition that's happening in our lives, this transition. So yeah, my journey with menopause or perimenopause started about 1.5 years ago. And it started with unexplainable weight gain. Like, I remember it was my birthday and I was looking for a birthday outfit, and I'm usually like a small, medium, and I was having to go up in size to like extra large. It was really bizarre for me because nothing else had changed. I'm very conscious about my health. I'm predominantly plant-based. I exercise regularly, but suddenly I was gaining this weight and I had no clue what was happening. And I would look in the mirror and I would really start to feel shitty about myself. Like I felt depressed. I felt like, what is, like, it's confusing. It's a confusing state. And I just look in the mirror and I'm going, what's happening to my body? So that was the first symptom that showed up. Then I started to have extreme PMS. Girls, the week before our period comes, we hit PMS. And for me, it just became really extreme, like really hefty, feeling very sad, crying for no reasons, high highs, low lows. So my mood swings were really erratic. And that was also, questioning, like, what's going on with me? And then the third sign that is from our mamas, right? But to experience one, I mean, because I always tell Kevin, like, it's like being an old Corvette and I'm overheating and I cannot shut off, right? We just can't shut off. We could go stick our head in the freezer. We can go sit in the AC.
She's done that.
I have done that. I usually don't like AC, and suddenly I'm hugging the air conditioner to cool down. And, you know, it was that coupled with starting to see things on social, right? Because thanks to social media, right, we have more access to this and women are speaking up. And I remember saying, holy cow, I think I'm starting perimenopause. I am 47. And even though that feels a little young to be starting it, we do know that, you know, menopause, perimenopause, which is the stage before menopause, can start to show up as early as our 40s. And so that was really the first sign of my symptoms with this thing.
This thing.
Yeah.
And then what was it that, I mean, I guess it's pretty natural that because of Kevin's involvement and your awareness, that you then just you just thought, let me try this, or did you see some studies that said?
No, it was really by coincidence that I realized that mushrooms were helping me with perimenopause. So I'm already been a believer in plant medicine as a tool for healing, and I myself have journeyed with hero doses of the mushroom from my own personal healing journeys. And so I witnessed directly the power that the mushroom has. And, you know, just to talk a little bit about, you know, these plants, you know, that our ancestors have been using to heal themselves, they carry so much wisdom in these plants. And when I take a hero dose, a large dose of it, as I said, to just go on my own healing journey, I feel the wisdom of the mushroom almost like regulating my body. It's very hard to explain, but it's very wise. And I almost feel it like kind of turn dials and like regulate me. I had something going on with my back, some pain in my back, and I felt the mushroom go to my back and work on healing my back. So just a little, you know, background of how wise these plants are, right? And so I was already an advocate of bringing this medicine to the world. That's why Kevin and I started One Retreats, our mushroom retreats in Jamaica, and just bringing this medicine to everyone. And we saw people coming through our retreats, and so many of them coming with depression and anxiety, all these kinds of symptoms. And we saw how it was helping them with these challenges. You know, like he said, we help veterans with PTSD. So I already had that background of knowing it. I just didn't think for perimenopause. So what ended up happening as a protocol for my own healing, I wanted to continue microdosing with the mushrooms. So just to keep up with my mental health, you know, like he says, you know, clarity, motivation, energy. I was doing it for that reason. But what happened was sometimes I wasn't taking the microdose, and for simple reasons, like I live in Portland and maybe I ran out, and, you know, the rest of the inventories in Kingston, I'm not going to be there for a few weeks or so. So I forgot to take them, or I wasn't taking them. And I noticed the months that I wasn't taking them, my symptoms were more severe. And then I would get to Kingston, oh, honey, where's the microdoses? I would start to take them. And then I noticed that my symptoms were lesser. And I remember turning to Kevin once, you remember? And I was like, honey, I think Patoo is helping me with my perimenopause, because when I'm microdosing, I feel better. I feel a lot better. You know, the symptoms aren't gone, you know, but I like to say like the mood swings, for example, instead of like this, I'm like this. Right? And so we still might wake up with a little brain fog. We still might wake up feeling a little low, a little down, a little energy. But I take a micro and it helps, you know, lift that mood up and just kind of keep me neutral. So that's what I'm doing for me.
So do you find that they're helping predominantly with your mood related symptoms? But you did mention the pain, but you mentioned the pain alongside with the hero dose. And the hero dose, for the people that don't know, is that big dose that you're not going to ever want to do on your own for the very first time you're doing it. Like you definitely want a guide.
Absolutely.
You definitely want somebody to help you unpack the stuff that comes up and keep you safe and all of that good stuff, right? But what are the symptoms of the menopause or perimenopause that you specifically have noticed the microdosing is helping with?
Absolutely, for sure. The mood swings, the high highs, the low lows, the feeling sad, feeling depressed, you know, it helps lift that up. It also brought back motivation and energy because, you know, when we're feeling like this, ladies, maybe we don't want to get out of bed. You know, maybe we just want to lay on the couch and, you know, eat, you know, comfort food, you know, so it can affect us that way. And that's where also weight gain can take, you know, because all our cortisol levels are changing, our ability to burn, you know, fat, all of that is diminishing, right? Our estrogen is diminishing, our patience, all of that is diminishing. So it also brought back energy and motivation. So what I do is I take my microdose early in the morning and it gives me a little boost of energy. So I hit the gym. And for me, that really just gets me off my bum and I feel powerful. Like I'm in the gym and I'm having a really good workout. I'm not dragging myself through my workout, which is something that started to happen. I was dragging myself. So I go and I have a great workout and I'm enjoying it. And as a result, a year ago, when I had gained all that weight, I got my weight under control, right? Kevin can attest, I lost a lot of weight and I got my body back. So I got my confidence back, right? So it just all kind of plays a role. It's not a magic pill. It's not going to get rid of our symptoms, but it's an aid that can support those symptoms and alleviate them, lessen.
Yeah, helping along with a healthy diet, helping along with an active lifestyle, with everything else. Yeah, you know, when you talk about patience and irritability, I saw this meme on Instagram and it said, I'm a perimenopausal woman. My pronouns are Trey, me.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And you really do feel that way sometimes.
Accurate. That's an accurate meme.
You just feel like you just can't, you know? So I know for me, when I microdose, and I hadn't even made the connection between microdosing and the perimenopausal symptoms that I'm experiencing. But for me, what I notice is I'm smarter. I feel like I problem solve better. Yes. I feel like my creativity is better. I feel like, you know, when you're giving a talk or you're having a conversation with someone and you just cannot remember, like you're holding it in your hand and you cannot remember the name of this thing. And not when I'm don't laugh. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I'm like even people that I've grown up with and I can't remember their name, and I'm like, this is so embarrassing.
Oh my god!
Wow, thank you.
You don't when that happens.
Thank you for this because she's been beating herself over this the last week. Like I don't remember. How is it possible? And I'm like,
brain fog.
Welcome to my world.
And the symptoms take turns. You know, today it might be brain fog. Tomorrow it's insomnia. Yeah. It's just like, oh boy.
And if you're well rested.
Yes,
I find that you can manage things, but as the day, like in the morning, it might be, as the day goes on and it gets hotter, and then the work, and then and the stress, and then by the time the evening, you can snap at somebody that just says like, "Hey, mom." What do you mean, "Hey, mom"?
Yeah. Who are you talking to?
Right. So how did you? So you started to microdose, and do you use the 4 days on, 3 days off protocol?
Yes, I do.
Why do we do that? Like, why do we cycle? What's the importance of the
question. Cycling? Great question. We get asked often. So the protocols are like there's various things, but the main thing is that you want to keep it a microdose, and generally because of the Western world and how we are, it's like kind of take a pill to fix it. Like when I feel down, it's kind of this, and the protocols, I mean, that's, you know, not as documented in a scientific protocol, you know, to kind of keep people on the straight. But it's the other reason is that you don't want to get used to the medicine. It's such a small amount that if you continue to like, if you took a microdose every day, there's going to come a day where, oh, I don't, you know, I need another microdose, or I need to double up on my thing, because that's one, how we were programmed, and two, you're taking it too frequently. So when you take the 3 days off, it's the psilocybin is it's stacking. So it's not like the microdose you took on day one isn't relevant in your life in day two or day, you know what I mean? Like it. So from day four, it'll power you through and still be present in you for those other days. You know, and then that will alleviate you getting used to this and that dependency that the Western medicine and is so used to, as well as your body getting used to it. Because sometimes, you know, sometimes even we say to persons like, you know, they say, did you guys change the potency of the micro? I don't feel it anymore. And Charles and I will suggest, we're like, listen, why don't you try a gummy? Because it's a different genetic in the gummy. So sometimes you change it, it's the same beautiful medicine, but it's a different personality. And they might like, wow, this one treats me a little bit better, or this one is, you know, so everybody's kind of finding, you know, their own, what's their comfort level. And the truth is that you know your body the best, you know, so it's gonna intuitively tell you, you know, which strain is the best for you, or which vehicle.
You know, it's a wide, wonderful world that this stuff is becoming more and more available to us. And you shared with us some articles, Kevin and V, where this is not just you guys going, maybe this can help. Like, there's actually some articles, and one of the menopause or hormone doctors that I follow, Dr. Sarah Godfrey, she's a gynecologist, I think, but she talks a lot about hormones. And now, because of her state of life, she's talking a lot about menopause, perimenopause, and she herself was talking about the impact that mushrooms are having on her in her space. So what's the medical community or the scientific community? Have we reached that stage where they're chiming in?
Yeah, great question. Gosh, you're always well researched. You know, I love that. It's easy. You make it easy. The answer is yes. You know, more and more research is coming out. There's more and more advocates coming out. So it's like now the science is catching up almost, meaning like, you know, people say this is helping me. So studies are being done. We definitely want to. We've spoken of it, and you know, as an organization, that we really want to do some hard rooted research in this thing. So, you know, you know, we'd love to call on you and even this community that you've so beautifully built, that, you know, if they, you know, want to help get you know, research, you know, try it for a month, document somehow you're feeling, some moods, some, you know, and we can do it. We're blessed that we're in a space, in a legal framework that, you know, we're able to do this stuff. And we have a very good relationship with Future Wellness, which is a lab up at UE, that's doing some incredible work, and they're linked to UE. So there's, you know, I have dreams and aspirations and purpose of doing some really research, and this is one of that is research done in Jamaica. You know, it's you know, so this is it's a big opportunity for our nation, our little nation, little but Watalawa, in this healing space, you know.
Completely agree. I mean, I do know that there are medical practitioners that, especially that deal with addiction or depression. So that grouping of doctors that are actually prescribing and have protocols. And these are very well respected medical practitioners. And it's not to say that they're quacks. What we, you know, with the people that we worry about. These are very well respected, been around, published medical practitioners, and they are prescribing microdosing
100%.
along with their Wellbutrin or whatever drugs they're giving people for anxiety and depression, and they're giving you protocols, and they're saying do it this way, take it, you know, alternate this way. So I think that would be a great thing. So let's throw that out to our community. Whoever is listening to this, let's hold Kevin and V and Charles and all them allers. Let's hold them accountable to this. So if you're interested in that, let us know, and we'll let them know. So when they're ready, we can, you know, how groundbreakingly phenomenal would that be to, getting like feelings of like,
and
emotion.
we're going to make it a reality. It's not a, you know, we really want to do that and be that beacon of light. Jamaica's been a healing beacon through its music, through its food, through its the land, and so it's amazing, you know, it's amazing to carry on that torch and you know, lead with integrity and courage in this space.
I wonder what it is for women that are on hormone replacement therapy. I wonder how the mushrooms would interact with the hormone replacement. I mean, if hormone replacement is to bring us back to the hormones that we had pre-perimenopause and premenopause, and we were able to take mushrooms in that state, it would stand, my logical brain, it would stand to reason that the mushrooms would not interact in a negative way with hormone replacement. But have you seen any research along those lines that talk about the ability to do both?
Well, it's like, again, with the receptors, if you view them as parking spots, there's only a certain amount of cars can fit in those parking spots. This is just an analogy, clearly, but it's so I mean, the truth is that psilocybin is being used in a lot of capacities to wean people off of SSRIs. We don't have to go. We all kind of know the different slippery slopes of SSRIs, and so I think it's a calculated dance, and you definitely should ask your physicians or your, you know what I mean, and that we always lean on our head facilitator, or even stuff when there's medication involved, and what that is. But generally, no. What it could do is dampen it, but then that can be altered by dosing. You know what I mean,
right.
of psilocybin. So there's a lot to a lot to be.
That's what part of the research that they're doing now is to figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, every day there's new articles and new information. So we implore all of you to do your research. But we get doctors calling us too. HOLIPA doctors calling us, asking us information, coming to our retreats, renowned doctors from universities. So the medical fraternity is definitely is seeing the benefits of it.
Right. So for those people that are listening that do not know what an SSRI is, it's a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So it is that class of drugs that are widely used to treat anxiety and depression. And it doesn't help you make more serotonin. It just keeps the serotonin circulating in your body, right? Whereas the action of the mushrooms, does the mushrooms actually help you make more serotonin?
Yeah, well, it mimics it in a way, and then it's doing a completely different. There's you can get to your result from many different ways, or a destination, and it's using a more one that's not codependent or where dependency is. Mushrooms, if you explore them, or psilocybin mushrooms is it's a Schedule I drug now, most things, and the two criteria for that is that it's addictive, and it has no medical contribution. And that's psilocybin. That's why you're seeing it being voted in all these different states and countries now, because both of those have been dispelled. Mm-hmm. It's non-addictive, and it's obviously it has therapeutical or benefits. So it's amazing to see it unfold, and we're just here to play our role and educate people in the space.
And I'll just add a little bit too about, just doing my own research on perimenopause. One thing that I learned that really stood out is, we're all going to experience it very differently. There's no one size fits all. We all going to have different symptoms. Our hormones are going to be imbalanced differently, and the treatment is going to be different for each of us. So it's really kind of like a trial and error. I personally have decided not to go the route of hormone replacement therapy yet. Could it be an option for me later? I don't know, but I'm choosing to go more the holistic route, and I consider psilocybin, as that holistic supplement. I'm also testing my hormones. So I just recently did that test last week. I'm waiting for the results. So it's really important to kind of see where you're at, and then from there you can kind of decide which route you want to go with treatment. And it really is, experimenting with it and seeing, how things affect your body and how does it affect your symptoms. And if it's affecting you good, keep going. If it's not, you trial and error it.
Right. What was your most profound symptom of perimenopause that you were going through, V?
They're all
so profound.
Definitely the brain fog is that's a hard one, but the mood swings were most profound. Being irritable, snappy, crying one minute, then happy the next. It was just, you know, it's really disruptive to your lifestyle. Very disruptive to your lifestyle. So, you know, taking the psilocybin, you know, again, having it going from this to be able to be this and level it out was the significant.
And when would you say, like, how long ago did you start using the microdosing to help?
I would say a good year and a half ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been, and again, not always consistently on it. Like I said, if I, you know, I'm here in New York and I'm out of it right now, so I'm not doing it this month. And that's another thing I was even telling Krevin last night, like, you know, I'm not sure if like I take it for a month and then the next month my symptoms are lower. But there's times where that morning I wake up and I'm feeling really low and down and I take it and then boom, it boosts my mood for that day. So again, just experimenting with it. But for sure, I know that it is helping. I know that without a doubt, I can feel it in my body when I'm not taking psilocybin versus when I am taking psilocybin.
Yeah. And this,
so go ahead, Kev, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that there's been just so many blessed that, you know, we're getting a lot of feedback, you know, thank you from, we you know, what one aspect of this I love is that we speak directly to a lot of our customers and clients as I know you do, and take the time, and it's you know, to hear these women that are going through it, and then having, you know, me living with it and seeing, you know, it's you know, I can say cripple V in areas where I was like, wow, you know, like, and as a fiance or a boyfriend or a husband, whichever one, as a man in a relationship, you feel helpless. You're like, fuck, you know, I'm not sure what to do, you know. It's like, you know, to navigate that.
Now he goes, take your micro, honey. I'm like, take your microdose. Oh, okay, honey.
Yeah. It's you know,
I love that.
Gentle reminder for the progression of niceness in
God,
you know.
No, it's, you know, the supportive partner is something that we've spoken about before in this space, and the importance of a supportive partner. So, all right, so here's the thing, right? We live in a society that can be, I'm just gonna say it, we can be a little judgmental, and we can be a little you know, afraid of things that are new and unknown. And what have you, how did you kind of, like, you guys are immersed in this space, right? So for you, it's not a wild unknown. For you, it's something that you are, you know, quite accustomed to. So it might have been like a natural progression for you to try this. But what would you say to a woman, V, that is thinking, you know, I wonder if this is something that maybe could help me? Like, how would what would be the first step for her to jump into this space?
Yeah.
Or to slowly walk into this space cautiously.
Yeah, great question. And I'm glad you brought this up because, of course, you know, people can think, wow, this is a psychedelic drug. It can be scary, daunting. They're going to worry, am I going to have a trip or bad experience, right? We spoke about all that. But I think it starts with just being open-minded and receptive and ready, right? Once we're kind of open-minded and receptive and ready, right, energetically, that starts to, you know, relax us. And maybe next thing you know, you're online and you're doing a little more research and you read something like that. You know, this is going to tie for me back to energy. Suddenly you read something and it gives you more peace of mind, more comfort, right? Because we all know the more wisdom we obtain, the more knowledge we get, that makes us more confident and more sure this is something that we want to try. So I think just that, being open-minded, being ready, and doing your research to get to your own comfort level.
And what if a woman decides to try, doesn't like it, and wants to stop? Is there any negativity about surrounding that? Is there any harm?
Yeah. No. As I've mentioned, it's non-addictive, so it's there's nothing harmful with that. And again, remember the microdose is that it's not something that it's for a jolting experience or a you know, a brain vitamin. It's helping the neurotransmit. Like, we're also used to the default network and habitual. We're habitual, you know. So when I feel like this, I should feel this. When this happens, I should feel sad. When you know, and it's how we're programmed. And psilocybin and my, you know, is proverbial going down that country road, and you have grooves in that road. Every day you're kind of going down the same, and the grooves get deeper and deeper as we get older and older and habitual. Psilocybin is kind of grades the road, you know, where we can now stare out of those grooves and form new habits and get motivated and turn the page and all of this. And this doesn't, and this happens with microdosing as well. You know, it's a lifestyle, it's a consistency, you know, and yeah, it's helping in all the right areas of mental health and wellness.
And I want to further add too, that I think is really important, ladies, is to be intentional with it. You know, we know how much this is affecting our mental health, and it's a really sensitive time for us to give ourselves grace and slow down and take the time that we need to nurture ourselves. So maybe don't start taking a microdose for the first time on a Monday morning when you got to rush off to work and have a meeting with your boss and you can't really, like, you know, instead start on a weekend, you know, maybe light some candles and be intentional with it. Maybe journal a little bit, you know, say what you hope this can, you know, how it can help you, and also be receptive to your body. It's really, really important now that we are receptive and in tune with our body, because this is not stopping. It's coming. It's a transition we're going to go through, and we have to almost, you know, become one with it, become friends with it, become friends with your symptoms, because when you are, then you can help control them as well. You know, besides all the other supplements and stuff that you're doing, you can also take comfort and be one with them.
Absolutely. We're not broken. We're not broken needing to be fixed. We just need the support. Absolutely. We have a great question here from Lisa. And Lisa says, thank you for this discussion. It's really insightful. I came in a bit late. I'm a menopause dietitian in Trinidad and Tobago, focused on more holistic options. Although cannabis is legal here, anything of that nature still has that stigma. Yeah, so just like us, Lisa, here in Jamaica, very, very stigma associated. Do you have any advice or websites on how to get that conversation started, especially within the healthcare community? Anywhere you can direct, Lisa?
Well, I'm not, you know, I in Trinidad and Tobago, I'm not too sure of what the laws are there, but I do believe it's not in the legal framework. So you know, you might want to start advocating for that in your community, people that you know, maybe I'm not sure if there is one. There very well could be one, so forgive me, but if there's a, you know, a psilocybin society in Trinidad and Tobago, or, you know, it's all about education, like how this whole thing has been moved forward, or is being moved forward, is education. Different things speak to different people. Some people like accounts, like, tell me, V, like, well, how did it go? And that's enough. Some people love the science and the backative of like receptors and this. People receive things and feel comfort in different ways. So the best way to do that is explore and research the ways of communication. They'll all have that information, but how do you digest it well? Is it reading? Is it a video? I'm not sure, but there's a lot of movies. How to Change Your Mind.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a great documentary on Netflix. Michael Pollan.
Yeah,
yes.
That's a great one. That's really well narrated. There's Fantastic Fungi, which is Paul Stamets, and he goes, I mean, gosh, that puts it into perspective of how powerful the mushroom is. You know, so there's literature.
Yeah, I'm smiling because, you know, Natalie, I'm a rebel. So like for me, it's like any prohibiting of this medicine getting to the world really upsets me, you know. So I can have a lot of off-record talks with any girls if they really want. I can give them my Instagram, my email, my phone number, and we can, you know, we can talk off-record about
that sounds good. And we'll pop your socials in here as well. But where do you think we would be able to go to get some of that? If we are readers of scientific journals, for example, where could we go to get more information?
I think just, I mean, definitely under, obviously through the internet, if you Google psilocybin research papers or psilocybin research menopause, right, whatever, I guarantee
Yeah,
there's
pop up
endless stuff, articles, reports, journals, and it's, more and more is coming out. Yeah, MAPS is is a good resource space for it as well. They've been pushing for this in the science for 35 plus years.
I randomly found a new research trial going on in the UK. And they have a beautiful website talking about, their intentions for the trial. So I'm happy to share that. But yeah, a lot of it you can just come across even just Googling it.
Please do. If you can send us any of those articles, and then Nikki, probably
Sure.
when you're sending this out, we could drop the links in there, just because we're hearing what you guys are saying, and we're hearing your firsthand testimonial and mine as well. But there definitely are those of us that want some of that scientific data or those research articles. That would be really cool.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Do we have any more questions in the group? Because we are coming up on 1 o'clock.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Right? We could talk forever. Okay, so socials. Patoo, Jamaica.
Yeah,
right?
That's correct.
The Energy Goddess. VEE dot.
Yep.
Energy Goddess. Yeah. What else? Where else do we find you guys?
One retreat, Jamaica. Yeah. You can check it out. We'll send it all of it. But yeah, I mean, we're here to support. We take the responsibility serious about being in this space and the progression of it and the learnings. But you have to remember that this is ancient medicine. This has been around for thousands and thousands of years. And the retreat model, healing in community, is we're learning from the past and ancestors about how being witnessed and healing is so important. And the mushroom is just a tool. You have to remember that what it's doing to us is tapping into our inner healing. We're all equipped with our inner healing mechanisms. I don't tell my heart to beat so much times a minute. If I get cut, I don't look at it and say heal. It's all this beautiful
wisdom.
We just can our internal healing stuff, and the mushrooms allows us to tap back into that, because it's gotten muddied, it's gotten, the wires are thing, bad habits, programming, etc. So
great. I actually just found an article. I just did a quick search. I typed in PubMed, because that's a platform that I love to get my research articles from, and I typed in PubMed mushrooms menopause, and here we go. I mean, these are not psychedelics, these are dysfunctional mushrooms. But estrogen deficiency during menopause causes a variety of neurological symptoms, including depression. The edible lion's mane mushroom is a medicinal mushroom that has the potential for neuroprotective effects and ameliorating neurological diseases such as depression and anxiety. So there you go. You don't get any more sciencey than PubMed. If people want to get started with microdosing, I know, of course, shameful plug here, you can get Patoo all forms at the Life Store, but you do have other outlets. You have Fontana, right?
Yes, correct.
And where else is your medicine available?
In of course, Life Store. We'll do that other shameless plug for you, one of our longtime retailers. So thank you so much in that avenue and that support. Yes, Fontana, which is island wide. They have 7 outlets island wide. We're in Itopia dispensary. We are go in Ocherius, in Go Green Island Village at Pure Jamaica. In Negril, where we have various outlets in Negril. We're at G-Jam Hotel in Portland, Golden Eye in Aracabessa, Rock House, and Skylark in Negril. Rock House, we have a very cool pushing the envelope with Paul and Rock House with a psilocybin sound bath, which is like I woke up one morning, it was like #2 place to go in wellness in National Geographic. I'm like, wow, it was just such a blessing to create that with the Rock House family. Every Sunday, yeah. So people from other hotels going, give them a training. It's a microdose, a little, like a 0.3, 0.35 of the chocolate, and then a beautiful sound bath over at their organic garden.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah,
that sounds lovely.
Just really, really pleased with the acceptance of that and the feedback. So yeah, we're here to support and creating spaces for medicine here in Jamaica. Natural medicine.
Just to wrap up then, if we have an adventurous woman that wants to jump on and try this without having a conversation with you or me or someone else in the space, and you walked into this, when you walk into the Life Store, they're going to have a conversation with you, because we don't just sell the mushrooms, we do have a conversation. But if you happen to go somewhere else and purchase, we're going to say microdosing, and we're going to say 4 days on, 3 days off.
Yeah, the protocol is on the packaging. So I would when you get the microdoses, the capsules, it's right on the back with the protocol. If not, you can go to our Instagram page at Patoo Jamaica, and we have a education little area there. And then or the honey, which also has obviously it's a fluid to a capsule has 5 ml equals a 0.1 of psilocybin, so that would be a teaspoon. So it's different vehicles for the same results, and like I said, everybody's different. I have to remember this medicine is natural. It's something there's it's not man-made. It's nature provided with this. So it's to embrace it is a beautiful thing. Results.
A blessing. Hi, Kevin and V, thank you, Nikki and I, and the entire Menopause Monday community. Thank you so much for elucidating something that has been shrouded in a little bit of, concern and stigma and all of that. So thank you for continuing the conversation. Thank you for sharing this information. I'm hoping that you pick up some good followers on Instagram and that we continue this conversation going. And let us know when you are ready to start that research project, because we will be behind you in full support.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you ladies for being so brave.
Yes,
thank
cheers
you.
to you, ladies. We're all here for you.
Lots of love.
All right.
Bye, everyone. Thanks so much for joining.
Yeah.
Bye.